We were the couple everyone envied, the kind of love story people double-tapped without thinking, saved for relationship goals, and followed for updates like it was their favorite show. Smiling photos, cute captions, travel vlogs, surprise gifts, it all looked perfect. And for a while I honestly believed it was. I wasn't pretending for the internet. I loved him, I trusted him, I shared our life with the world because it felt real. But today, I found something I wasn't meant to see, and now everything's shattered. It started like any other normal day. I was cleaning out a drawer, trying to be productive, when his old tablet lit up. I almost ignored it. It had been dead for months, but curiosity won. The screen opened up to a messaging app I'd never seen before. Hundreds of messages, dozens of names, some of them painfully familiar. My hands were shaking, but I kept scrolling. 5 years worth of messages, secrets, and hidden conversations. Conversations that happened while I was sleeping next to him, while we were posting selfies, while we were talking about marriage. The worst part, he wasn't just cheating. He was performing, building two completely different lives. One for me in our online world, full of love and affection, and another, private one, full of lies, flings, and people I never even knew existed. How do you deal with something like that, when everything you thought was real turns out to be scripted, for views, for control, maybe even just for fun? I keep thinking about the times I felt something was off. Those late-night texts he swore were work, the locked phone, the sudden distance followed by grand romantic gestures, as if he was trying to distract me. I blamed myself, thought maybe I was overthinking. Everyone else saw us as this perfect couple. How could I be the only one doubting it? But the truth doesn't care about filters, hashtags, or pretty pictures. It was all there in black and white messages that tore apart the image we spent years building. And now, I'm stuck in this strange place where the world still sees us as perfect. But I know better. I've seen the truth. I've read every heartbreaking word. I never expected my relationship, my life, to unravel in a single afternoon, but it did. And now, I'm sharing this not for sympathy, not for drama, but because I know I'm not the only one. So many people are living in relationships that look perfect on the outside, while quietly falling apart behind the scenes. What I found on that tablet changed everything. But the biggest shock, it wasn't even the cheating. It was what he said about me to them. And that part I'll tell you in the next part of this story. I sat there staring at the screen, heart racing, fingers trembling. The messages blurred in front of me, but the words burned into my brain. He had names saved as random initials, private chats locked under folders disguised as work stuff, and entire threads of messages that told a completely different story than the one I knew. What hurt the most weren't just the flirty or secret meets, it was how casually he spoke about me, like I was just part of the act. She's so obsessed with the social media thing, he had written to someone. As long as she thinks we're fine, I can breathe. That sentence hit harder than anything else. He didn't just lie. He used me. I wasn't his partner. I was his prop. Every memory began to rewind in my mind with a darker filter. The anniversary post that went viral. Turns out, he messaged someone else right after posting it, calling the whole thing just for the fans. The surprise weekend getaway he planned for us. He canceled plans with someone else for that same weekend, and not because he felt guilty, just because it made a better reel. He was curating a life that never really existed, and I was unknowingly helping him build it. One perfect photo at a time. I found conversations with women I didn't recognize, but also a few I did. One in particular shocked me. Someone I considered a friend, someone who commented "You two are the dream" under nearly every post we made. She wasn't just cheering us on, she was part of the lie. Their messages weren't even careful anymore. They joked about how good I was at playing the role, like I was a clueless extra in a show they were producing. That betrayal cut differently, because while I thought I had love and trust and friends, they had a story, and I was just the character they manipulated. But this wasn't just about cheating. It was deeper. It was about control, performance, image. He wasn't building a life, he was building a brand. Our relationship had become a product, something to sell, to promote, to keep shiny for the audience. And if the real version of me didn't fit the script, he edited me out behind the scenes. I tried to make sense of it all. I kept asking myself, how did I not see it? But every time I doubted, he gave me just enough to stay. A sweet message, a surprise date, a camera-ready smile. He was good at it. Too good. And now I can't even trust my own memories. Did he ever mean the things he said when we were alone? Did he ever look at me without thinking about likes, shares, and engagement numbers? That night, I didn't confront him. I couldn't. I needed time. I needed to understand who I was before all this, who I am now. I sat alone in the same apartment we decorated together, wondering how many of our candid photos were taken after a lie. Wondering what else I haven't found yet, because something tells me this isn't everything. There's more. A lot more. And I'm not sure I'm ready for what I'll find next. I couldn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw his face smiling for the camera, holding my hand, calling me his world. And then I'd remember the messages. The fake warmth. The way he talked about me like I was just a brand asset, not a person. My stomach twisted every time I thought of how icily he switched between roles. Doting boyfriend in public, detached, manipulator in private. I wanted to scream, to cry, to smash that tablet into pieces. But I didn't. I just sat in silence, reading everything again and again. Like maybe if I stared long enough, the truth would change. The next day I started noticing things I hadn't before. Little signs that had been there the whole time, hiding in plain sight. His schedule that never added up. The way he always had a reason to leave the room when I reached for his phone. The random business trips that always came without warning. I had brushed it all off as stress or overthinking because he always knew the right words to calm me down. And I wanted to believe him. I needed to believe that the life we built was real, not just something he staged for content. Then there was our online presence, the posts, the stories, the videos. I started rewatching them, trying to see what others saw. Smiles, hugs, kisses, laughter. But now, knowing what I know, it felt like watching strangers play dress-up. I even started questioning myself. Was I acting too? Was I trying so hard to look happy for the world that I stopped noticing how unhappy I was inside? A few friends noticed I had gone quiet, and one of them texted, "Everything okay with you two? You guys are goals." That message crushed me, because behind the word goals was a whole world of lies. But I couldn't tell them, not yet. I didn't even know how to explain it. How do you tell someone that the relationship they admired was built on manipulation and image management? And then there was this strange part of me that felt ashamed, not because of what he did, but because I let it happen. I kept thinking, what will people say when they find out that I was blind, that I ignored the signs, that I stayed too long? That fear, that shame, became another prison. As I kept going through the messages, I discovered more layers. There were conversations with people I didn't recognize at all, not romantic but strange. Influencer friends, marketing agents. He was discussing our relationship like it was part of a bigger strategy. Couple collab next month, he wrote to someone. We'll make it dramatic, get more clicks. Suddenly I wasn't even sure if our biggest moments, even our fights, our makeups, were ever real. Maybe it was all just content to him. Every hug, every kiss, every tear. That realization was worse than the cheating, because now I wasn't just hurt, I was confused about what was real. Was I even in a relationship, or was I just part of his brand? The scariest part is, he's still acting like nothing's wrong, still posting throwbacks, still calling me babe, still smiling like the whole world's watching. And maybe that's the point. Maybe, to him, the world watching was always more important than me, but something else is bothering me. Something he said in one of those messages, a reference to keeping me distracted and not letting her dig too deep. It's like there's another layer I haven't even uncovered yet. Something darker, and I'm starting to think I haven't seen the worst of it. Not yet. For the next 2 days I barely spoke to him. I kept my face neutral, played along like everything was fine, because something told me I wasn't done uncovering the truth. I wanted to see how far the performance would go if I stayed quiet. He was still posting stories of us laughing over coffee, even though I hadn't said a real word to him in 48 hours. The captions said things like quality time with my love, and grateful for us. It was surreal. Like watching someone live a parallel life, one where I was still blind. Then it happened. The second twist. While I was backing up the tablet's data, just in case, I stumbled onto something I hadn't noticed before, an archived folder buried deep in a cloud app he thought I didn't have access to. It wasn't messages this time. It was videos, raw footage, unedited, long clips with no music, no filters, no fancy transitions, just us, or what I thought was us. One video started with him setting up a camera in our bedroom. I assumed it was an old vlog setup, but the timestamp said it was from last year, and we never posted any bedroom content that year. I kept watching. The video rolled for over 30 minutes, mostly quiet, except for him talking to the camera like he was prepping for a scene. Then he said something I'll never forget. Gotta make her believe it's real again. Can't afford another break. Sponsors are watching. Sponsors break. What was he talking about? Suddenly it all clicked. Every big romantic gesture, every public post about healing through hard times, every staged comeback video we did, it wasn't about us. It was for them. For views, for brands. There had been moments where I pulled away, moments when I felt something was off, and every single time, he brought me back, not with honesty, but with performances. Ones he planned, recorded, edited, published. Every time I had doubts, he turned it into content, and that wasn't even the worst of it. Another video popped up, this one from a different folder labeled with my name. It wasn't a vlog or a happy moment. It was him alone, talking to someone on a video call. I couldn't hear the other person, but I could hear him clearly. She still doesn't know. She thinks she found everything, but she's only scratched the surface. As long as she stays in the dark, we're good. He laughed after that. Laughed. The betrayal hit like a second wave. He knew I was getting suspicious. He knew I found the messages. And he was still playing the game. Still 10 steps ahead. Like none of it mattered. I realized then. This wasn't just a cheating story. It wasn't even just about lies. This was manipulation at a level I hadn't even considered. He wasn't just living a double life. He was controlling the narrative from every angle. And if what he said was true, there's even more I haven't seen. Something he's hiding, deeper something he's protecting. Now I'm not just questioning the past 5 years. I'm scared of what else is buried under this illusion. Because if someone can lie so completely and do it with a smile, what else are they capable of? It all came crashing down one night when I finally decided to confront him. I couldn't carry the weight of silence anymore. My mind was spinning with every lie, every message, every staged scene I'd uncovered. I waited until we were both home. No distractions, no cameras, just us, face to face. Or at least, the version of us that still remained. He walked into the living room like nothing was wrong, still scrolling through his phone, probably editing another video. I called his name, and for the first time in days, he looked up. Really looked at me. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just asked, "Who have I been to you all these years?" He froze. No clever lines, no fake charm, just silence. I think for a moment he realized the performance was over. I told him I knew about the messages, the folder, the videos, the call, all of it. He barely denied it. Just sat there, trying to control his breathing, trying to piece together a version of the truth that wouldn't make him look like the villain. But it was too late. Every excuse he gave just made it worse. It was all for the brand, he said. People loved us. I had to keep it going. That's when it hit me. I had been in love with a version of him that didn't really exist. He didn't see me as a partner. I was content. I was a storyline. The girl next to him in every thumbnail. The happy ending for his viewers. He said he never meant to hurt me, but when you plan out a lie this deeply for this long, intention doesn't matter anymore. The damage is already done. I told him I was done not just with him, but with the whole illusion. I left the apartment that night, packed only what I needed. I didn't post about it. No cryptic quotes, no dramatic story time. I just vanished from the feed, quietly. It was the only thing he wouldn't expect. The one thing I could still control. Weeks went by. The breakup made headlines, of course. He posted a long video, playing the heartbroken victim, spinning the narrative. I didn't watch it. People messaged me nonstop wanting the truth, but I stayed silent. I wasn't going to play a part in his storyline anymore. And then, the twist. One morning I got an email from a girl I didn't recognize. She said she had watched our videos for years and finally wanted to tell me something. Her message was short, but what she said changed everything. He used the same script with me. Same lines, same promises. We were together before you and after. He told me you were the fake one. I stared at the screen, hands cold. Even now, after everything, he was still rewriting the truth, just with someone else. It wasn't about me. It never was. He just needed an audience. And when I stopped playing the role, he found a new one. That's when I knew I had escaped something far darker than just a broken relationship. I had walked away from a performance that could have destroyed me completely. And while he's still chasing the next story, the next post, the next girl to smile for the camera, I've finally stepped out of the frame, for good. After I read her message, I just sat there for a long time, letting it all settle. It was like the final piece of the puzzle had clicked into place. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't dramatic. I wasn't imagining things. Everything I felt, all the moments I second-guessed my instincts, all the times I blamed myself, it was all part of a game I never knew I was playing. And she had played it too. So had others, probably. I wasn't the only one. I was just the one he kept around the longest because I fit the role so well. That realization didn't make the pain go away, but it helped me begin to let go of the guilt. I started to understand that none of this was a reflection of my worth. I gave him love, trust, loyalty, and he gave me a character to play. But I wasn't going to stay in that role anymore. The story was his to keep, and I was finally walking out of the script. I spent the next few weeks quietly rebuilding. No social media updates, no dramatic reveals, no takedown videos. I changed my number, moved to a new place, even started therapy. It was hard, lonelier than I expected, but real, and that was the point. I wanted real, even if it came with silence and healing and slow mornings that didn't get posted online. A few of our mutual friends reached out eventually, saying they had always wondered about certain things but didn't want to get involved. I didn't blame them. He was good at keeping up appearances. He knew how to twist the truth just enough that questioning him would make you look like the problem. That was his power, but now, it wasn't mine to carry anymore. One day I did go back and delete every post we shared together. Not out of anger, but for closure. Each one had been a memory tied to something I thought was real, but now, those memories belonged to a version of me who didn't know the whole truth. Letting them go wasn't erasing the past, it was freeing myself from it. If there's anything I've taken from this, it's that we live in a world that's obsessed with appearances, with perfect photos, relationship goals, couple brands, but behind those filtered smiles, there are often silent wounds, unspoken betrayals, and people trying to survive things they don't even know how to name. My story isn't unique, and that's the part that hurts and comforts me at the same time. For anyone watching this who feels like something's off in their own story, like the version of their relationship they show online doesn't match the one they live in private, trust that feeling. Don't ignore the quiet voice that whispers when something feels wrong. And don't ever let someone use your heart as part of their content strategy. I was the perfect girlfriend in a 5-year lie, but now I'm just me, honest, healing, and finally living a life that doesn't need an audience. And that's the real story worth telling.